What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. I've been waiting to continue this series for a while, but for me to do that, I obviously want to wait until the Moro arc ended, and now we're here. Going forward, if the scenario doesn't end up getting any more parts, I've changed the name to What If Cell Was Revived just to differentiate it from the original, because that's more fitting than What If Cell was in the Tournament of Power, since this definitely is not the Tournament of Power anymore. If you haven't watched the original part, I'll link it above. For this video, let's set a like goal of 3,000 likes. If it hits that, I'll continue the series when it's possible. Anyways, let's pick up from where we left off before. When we left off last time, Cell's fate was kinda up in the air. He didn't really know what he was gonna do, nor did anyone else around him. I mean, yeah, he could go back to his evil ways and just attack people, but if he does that, he knows he'll be stopped instantly. Of course, with Beerus there too, that's kind of a threat. That authority is pretty much stopping him from doing anything bad. And while he may want to do that, he's gonna avoid it. So, what is he to do with his life now? Well, he decides to make something of it. I mean, he can go around space doing whatever he wants, so why not do that? It sounds pretty fun. Maybe he can go around gathering intelligence, looking at different planets and figuring out what's on them. And if he's lucky, maybe he'll find some strong fighters out in space. I mean, Cell does love a good fight. So if he searches long enough, he'll eventually come across something. He does this, going around the universe trying to find different planets that interest him. A lot of them appear to be dead, although some of them are pretty cool places. When you have a whole universe of planets, there's so many different options for places to go. As he goes around space, he eventually stumbles across a planet that seems weird. Well, the planet itself isn't actually anything out of the ordinary. It seems hostile and uninhabitable. But the thing that interests him is he can actually sense some power coming from there. A very brief spike that goes away instantly. He descends on the planet and decides to check it out. At first he can't find anything besides the creatures that live there, just some giant bugs and green furry snakes or whatever they are. It's a really weird place. Until once again, he senses that high power from before. He tries to enter transmission to it, but it's gone before he can sense it again. So instead he just flies off into that direction. When he arrives, he finds something that surprises him. He sees two people. They actually look kinda human-like. He approaches them, and immediately they see Cell coming in their direction. Cell's appearance isn't really the most natural, not to mention, he doesn't look like anything they've seen on this planet before. The younger guy, who appears to be a Saiyan, gets ready to fight Cell. And Cell's confused. He asks if by any chance they're Saiyans. The two confirm and want to know who Cell is and what he's doing here. Well, Cell tells them they're in luck. He's a Saiyan too. Not only is that not believable, but they don't really like Saiyans too much. So, Cell introduces himself further. The main reason he came here is because he sensed that high power. He was just looking for strong people to fight because he wants to see who lives in the universe that is strong enough to face him. He doesn't have any bad intentions, as far as they know. You know, maybe he can befriend these two. He just has to get on their good side. Then he can fight that Saiyan that is still in his prime, who introduced himself as Broly. Cell sees a great opportunity here, so he puts his time and effort into Vampa, trying to see if he can befriend Paragus and Broly. Let's head back to Earth for a bit. Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan wonder where Cell is. They haven't seen him in a while, and they hope he's not doing anything bad. The last time they saw Beerus and Whis said Cell hasn't been acting suspicious. He's been on pretty good behavior, so that at least puts them at ease. But it seems that Cell isn't the only threat in the universe right now, if he even qualifies as one. The Galactic Patrol comes to Earth, looking for Majin Buu. Even with Cell in the scenario, he's not really on Earth to affect anything, so the start of the Moro arc would go pretty normally, and pretty much everything leading up to Namek. The biggest difference I could think of is Gohan would probably be more involved, based on everything he did in the last part. With all this extra power and motivation, he's going to be putting it to use, so he goes to Namek with Goku, Vegeta, and Beerus. But even with that, it's not going to really change too much. If anything, that just means Moro gets more energy. Gohan is essentially another snack for Moro to eat, so everything would continue like normal, or even faster than normal. Let's skip ahead to when Moro's leaving Namek, right after he gets his youth back. As he departs, he suddenly meets a new fighter. After sensing this from so far away, Cell decided to teleport in. He thought it was just Goku and Vegeta training at first since he did sense them, as well as Gohan, but now he can tell something completely different. He arrives after the fact and sees Goku and Vegeta against all the Galactic Patrol prisoners. It's been a couple months since they've seen Cell, so it's kind of a surprise to see him here. Cell can tell that they're facing this goat guy, and hey, that seems like fun, so he may as well join in too. Goku and Vegeta want to tell Cell to watch out, but they can't go into space and tell him that. They're stuck in the atmosphere. But luckily for Cell, of course he could fight Moro in space. Moro doesn't know who this guy is or how he even got here. He's not a prisoner, but he's not a Galactic Patrol agent either. From what Moro can tell, he just seems like some rogue fighter. Cell fights Moro and quickly comes to learn that he's pretty powerful. This power may come to use, so Cell decides to use his tail and stab Moro, taking some of his energy. He gets a little bit of energy from Moro, until Moro grabs his tail and rips it off, then attacking Cell with more power as Cell begins to feel drained. Cell may have bitten off more than he could chew, and he realizes that he may need to retreat. It seems Goku and Vegeta are panicked, and they might be trying to tell him something. But they're also preoccupied with their fight, so, just like normal, Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, and Meiris teleport away, trying to escape to make sure they're safe. But Cell knows the perfect distraction, seeing everyone on the planet, and realizing that they were fighting Goku and Vegeta, he launches a massive attack towards them. And this is a perfect distraction. Moro looks away at the planet, as Cell backs up and charges an attack. From what he can sense, Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan have left, and there seem to be no Namekians left on the planet either. Plus, Moro is using the planet as energy. He doesn't really know how Moro's powers work yet, but he can tell that he's taking some from the planet. His goal now is to blow up Namek as a distraction, and to defeat those other enemies on the planet itself. Plus, how often do you get an excuse to blow up a planet? Cell's gonna take that right away. Moro sees that a lot of the prisoners have just been killed by Cell, and he turns back to the android and sees him charging up an attack. Moro gets ready to eat it, but Cell takes a page out of Goku's book. Before he launches the attack, he teleports in front of Moro, not letting Moro get in front of the blast and eat it. With one shot, he blows up Namek, killing most, if not all, of the prisoners on it. And as Moro goes to attack him, Cell teleports away to where he can sense Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan. He just prevented Moro from getting a lot of energy, not to mention, he basically negated the wish that he used to free the prisoners. And as an added bonus, he got to blow up a planet for once. And not a small one like King Kai's planet, an actual planet. It was pretty cool. He sees that Vegeta's on a different ship, so he goes to the one where Goku and Gohan are on. They're glad to see he's okay, but wonder why he did that to Namek. He tells him it was his only way of escaping. He acted a little rash jumping into this fight. He didn't realize Moro was so powerful, but he could tell that Moro was using the planet for energy. Plus, with all those prisoners on there, he may as well destroy the planet with them there. And he tells them it should be okay. They could just bring back the planet later. While they don't agree with Cell destroying the planet, I mean, he did have a reason for his choice. He made sure no Namekians were on there first. Not to mention, he just defeated all the enemies without even trying. And he stopped Moro from getting as much energy as he could have. They'll just have to fix the planet later on. The Namekians were all dead anyways. Besides Eska, of course. So while they think it was kinda unnecessary, they realize why he did it. He gets caught up to speed about who Moro is and what he's been doing, and he decides he wants to help. I mean, he doesn't really have anything else to do, and it seems pretty fun. He'll kill this Moro guy himself. They wonder where he's been these past few months, so they ask. He tells them he found a planet called Vampa, and apparently there's 2 extra Saiyans. Naturally, this is pretty surprising to hear, so he goes into detail. One of these Saiyans was pretty strong, and over time, he befriended that guy named Broly. He was able to bring them some stuff to the planet so they could survive better, and in exchange, he got to train with Broly and fight him. He says maybe Broly could even help out, and while that's true, Meiris says that it's probably a bad idea. Broly may be strong, but that's a bad thing against Moro. That just means more energy for him. They tell Cell he should probably tell Vegeta though. Vegeta would definitely be interested to hear this, so Cell places his fingers on his forehead, teleporting to where Vegeta is. Naturally, Vegeta surprises sees Cell on the ship. And just like his encounter with Goku and Gohan from before, Cell catches Vegeta up to speed and tells him everything. Vegeta's intrigued to hear this. Originally he wanted to head to Yardrat, but this Saiyan seems interesting. Apparently he has some new ability, something that they don't have. Cell describes it as powerful but uncontrollable. And Vegeta actually becomes interested in learning this. Well, maybe before they head to Yardrat, they can see this Broly guy. Cell says that would be good and all, but there is an issue. Paragus kinda hates Vegeta. Cell never mentions that he knew Vegeta, but he guesses that Vegeta will have to deal with that himself later on. He goes into detail and tells Vegeta that it's pretty stupid. He wants to kill Vegeta because of what King Vegeta did. Well, Vegeta doesn't care. He'll sort this himself. He wants Cell to lead him to Vampa. The Galactic Patrol agent Iriko is just standing there confused. And Cell introduces himself. Cell tries to sense Broly's energy but then realizes, crap. Broly's calmed right now so he has no way of sensing him. He would've just teleported all of them there, but that's kinda what he gets for joining the fight with Moro so quickly. No problem though, he'll just tell them the way to go. As the ship changes its course to planet Vampa. After some time, the ship lands. And Cell introduces Vegeta to Paragus and Broly. Of course, Paragus isn't too happy to see this. But Cell tells Paragus to relax. He used to want to kill Vegeta too, and now look, they're buddies. Kinda. Point being, if he can get over his grudge to want to kill everyone, Paragus can too. Plus, he says maybe they can get them off this planet. Cell kinda felt that he was exiled from Earth, but now that he's with Vegeta again, maybe he can find a way back in. That would mean Paragus and Broly get a new home too. The offer is tempting, so for now Paragus swallows his pride, and he hears out what Vegeta and Cell want to say. Vegeta's pretty interested to meet Broly. He definitely is pretty strong, and his power seems weird, to say the least. It appears that he's using the power of Great Ape in his base, at least when he's fighting. But it's a pretty uncontrollable power. It's only ever quelled by Paragus using his electric shock remote, which is kind of an ass move to do. But Vegeta sees potential here. Maybe he can train Broly to control this power, and learn it for himself. The goal right now for him is to try and get so strong that Moro won't even have a chance to take his energy. So, there's a change of plans. Instead of going to Yardrat, Vegeta, Cell, and Broly will train here. Meanwhile, out in space, Goku and Gohan are training with Meiris. These two groups both have different methods of how to fight him. and maybe they could find a way to defeat Moro. As for Moro himself, he's in a weird spot right now. He just lost his entire crew, and whatever energy he could have gotten from Namek. He has to go around random planets trying to absorb energy. He'll also need a new ship too. Not only does he want power now, but he wants to kill Cell. That guy meddled with his plans and he's pretty annoying. He'll make sure Cell dies by his hand. Instead of aiming for Earth, he aims to find Cell first. Cell, Vegeta, and Broly continue their training, and one day, they see Broly's rage once again. Broly's grown way stronger, and this time Cell actually has trouble defending against him. He's trying to see if he can get Broly to control this anger somehow. He's been trying to do this for the past few months. And they're making some progress, and Broly's not quite there yet. And while Broly has gotten stronger, that's kind of a bad thing, because he's almost at the point where he's unstoppable. Vegeta gets out of the way as Cell goes to fight Broly, trying to stop him and quell this rage. Cell hits Broly with a powerful attack, and suddenly, Broly drops out of his transformation as energy flies out of him. Somehow, Broly just got his energy completely drained, and it got transferred to Cell. He feels a lot stronger, and he wonders what just happened. Did Broly just not know how to control it and it just exploded out of him? Wait, Cell remembers. He stabbed Moro before. Maybe he found a way to access the powers of Moro, and he just subconsciously drained Broly's energy. He tries again, trying to learn how to control this, and it turns out that it is the case. This is huge. This is a way for them to defeat Moro. They don't need to train to fight him, they just need to fight fire with fire. Cell tells everyone to hang on. He's gonna try and fight Moro himself now. Vegeta tells Cell to slow down. If he goes now, he might not win, even with this new ability. But as Cell searches for Moro, he realizes something. He does find Moro's key, but it's coming right towards Vampa. Moro knows where they are. He must have sensed them as now coming to kill them. So, whether they like it or not, they're gonna have to fight Moro soon. Wanting to make sure Vegeta and Broly don't get in the way, Cell teleports into space, meeting Moro before he even gets to the planet. Moro immediately notices Cell tracking him, and as soon as Cell teleports towards him, Moro hits him with an attack. Moro grins. This is great. Cell came right towards him and he can kill him pretty easily. But before he kills Cell, he wants to know more about him. What's his name and who is he? Cell introduces himself. He's Cell, an android, the embodiment of perfection, and the person to kill Moro. Moro laughs. What an unwise choice of words. So, he's some artificial being, kinda like 7-3 who's now dead. No matter though, the two prepare to fight. At first the fight is normal, no energy stealing. With pure strength alone, Moro has the advantage, but not by a huge amount. He comes to learn that Cell has regeneration. This may be tricky, so why not even the playing field by stealing some of Cell's energy? Cell begins feeling drained as Moro laughs. Moro pulls out a bunch of ki from Cell, and before he's able to eat it, Cell sticks his hand out and draws it back to him, regaining his energy and stealing some of Moro's in the process. He reveals to Moro, remember when he got stabbed before? Well, Cell stole his magic. He now has the same ability, meaning he can counter it and he's essentially immune, as he steals some more of Moro's energy for himself, evening the gap in terms of power. That can't be true, there's no way he has Moro's magic. Moro paralyzes Cell, and Cell realizes that he must have the same ability, so he focuses, and he's able to do the same. The two are paralyzing each other, although Cell doesn't have as much of a grasp on it as Moro does. Angrily, Moro shouts, launching a blast from his mouth that takes Cell's arm off. Cell regenerates it and the two resume fighting. This may actually help Cell. His severed arm flies around Moro, growing into another Cell. The other Cell tries to steal Moro's energy, but of course he's on guard in terms of his magic. But luckily he doesn't know the other Cell is there, so maybe he could physically steal the energy. Moro feels a sharp pain as he's suddenly stabbed in the back, turning around to see another Cell there siphoning energy from his tail. He chops the tail off like before and launches a blast at that Cell. This is a perfect distraction, no pun intended, as the original Cell launches a perfect death beam at Moro. Moro turns around and he opens his mouth, trying to eat the beam. But just as he does, the other Cell launches a perfect death beam as well, piercing right through Moro's chest. Then he gets hit by another beam, then another. The two Cells barrage him with death beams. The two continue launching beams as they merge back into one, using paralysis to seal Moro's mouth shut so he can't eat the beams. Moro clutches his chest, weakened. He's injured badly and bleeding out, but Cell doesn't let him escape. Quickly, he begins charging a Kamehameha. Since he's out in space, he can let out some more power. Killing Moro shouldn't be too hard. It kinda reminds him of the solar Kamehameha from before, a long time ago. But with how strong Cell is now, maybe this would even be a universal Kamehameha. Of course he's not gonna destroy the universe. He could, but he's gonna control it so he doesn't. The name just sounds cool. He launches this universal Kamehameha at Moro, making direct contact with the magician, killing him. Cell can't believe it. He actually did it, and it feels nice doing something good for once. Not only did he get to blow up a planet and have a cool fight, but he kinda did save the universe in the process. It's weird, he's never really felt this way. He teleports back to Vampa and tells them everything's alright, and they're glad to hear. He wants to teleport to Gohan and Goku to tell them the same, but he can't sense them for some reason. They must be somewhere training with Maris. But Cell will be sure to deliver the message to the Galactic Patrol. Of course, Goku and Gohan are still training. Goku's trying to learn Ultra Instinct again, so he could use it at will, while Gohan actually is interested in doing the same. Ultra Instinct seems pretty cool. Although the thing is, he can't stay here for nearly as long as Goku is. He's gonna have to get out of the time chamber eventually. He does have some responsibilities on Earth, and because of him leaving the time chamber, he actually finds out that Moro was killed, and he delivers the news to Goku and Maris. Oh, cool. That means they can continue their training in peace. This whole time though, Beerus and Whis have been watching. Cell's performance was pretty nice. He's strong, smart, and he seems impartial now. Whis is pretty interested in him, and tells Beerus maybe Cell would be a good candidate for God of Destruction. Of course, Goku and Vegeta didn't want to accept it, but what about Cell? The thought sticks with the two of them. Maybe they'll have to go ask him and see what he wants. They watch as Cell teleports away from Vampa, with Vegeta, Broly, Paragus, and Iriko. And with that, we'll end this part off here for now. So, what did you guys think about this part? What do you think will happen with Goku and Gohan's training? What will happen with Broly on Earth? And do you think Cell will accept this position once he gets offered it? Leave any thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. I'll be sure to check them out to see what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like, and let's try to hit that like goal from the beginning of the video so we can get another part of this series. If you haven't already, why not subscribe, as well as hitting the bell icon and get notified about any future parts of this What If, or any of the videos that I upload on my channel. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.